Hello my spooky friends! If this is your first time to my channel, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Emily and today we're going to be talking all about subliminal messages in music. The rise of rock and roll in the 1960s would change the way that we listened to and played music forever. But with this sudden spike of interest in rock music also came speculation of it being the devil's music. I'm sure we've all heard someone say, "It's the devil's music," when listening to a rock and roll song. But maybe, just maybe, were these speculators not so far off after all? But why would anyone do this, you may ask? The purpose of backmasking is to implement something into your head subliminally, without you ever realizing that you obtained this information. But because your subconscious was able to absorb this information subliminally, it's still in your head whether you like it or not. From silly lines that can make you chuckle, to some lines that are a little bit more sinister in nature, to a band even having to go into court due to subliminal messages, here are a few songs that are extremely popular and that almost everyone know that may or may not have subliminal messages in them. Now, we all know Another One Bites the Dust by Queen. I mean, who does not know that song? Every single age group seems to know that song, whether you are 4 years old, or 45, or 75. Everyone knows Another One Bites the Dust, but you may not have known that there might be a subliminal message littered throughout the song. The 1980s hit Another One Bites the Dust by Queen has an iconic chorus, "Another one bites the dust," but when this line is played backwards, you might end up hearing something different.
Another one bites the dust, ow! Another one bites the dust, hey, hey!
Now, what do you think you heard when you heard that played backwards? Because allegedly, Freddie Mercury, instead of saying "Another one bites the dust," says "It's fun to smoke marijuana," which honestly is hilarious. If that's true, he hit it in there really well, and a lot of people are not aware of what they're actually saying when they say "Another one bites the dust." In 1976, a song came out that would grow in popularity and top the charts. This was Hotel California by the Eagles. But this seemingly innocent song might not actually be about what you think it is. The beloved Hotel California has been well known to have a deeper, creepier meaning due to the lyrics that say, "In the master's chambers, they gathered for the feast. They stabbed it with their steely knives, but you just can't kill the beast." The beast meaning Satan. And the closing line that says, "You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave," insinuating that the band may have sold their souls to the devil for fame. Lurking in the shadows of the album artwork, you can make out a demonic-looking figure that is allegedly Satan himself. If you were alive in 1974, chances are you knew who Electric Light Orchestra, or ELO, was. But their oh-so-popular song El Dorado may have had some subliminal messaging littered throughout it. Allegedly, when played backwards, you can hear the words, "He is the nasty one, Christ, you're infernal. It is said we're dead men, everyone who has the mark will live."
Here it comes, I got the lonely day, playing the game, I sail away. Nasty one, Christ, you're infernal.
Songwriter and lead vocalist Jeff Lynne did not take kindly to the devil-worshipping rumors, calling it Scallop, which if read backwards means bullocks. He even made fun of the alleged backmasking in Fire on High, which appears to say the music is reversible, but time is not. Turn back, turn back, turn back. The year 1971 was a big one for music. The iconic song Stairway to Heaven by the iconic band Led Zeppelin first made its debut in that year. In the early 1980s, evangelical broadcaster Paul Crouch leveled accusations at several notable bands that they snuck evil hidden messages into their music. He alleged that the "If There's a Bustle in Your Hedgerow" segment of the Zepp masterpiece, if played backwards, it appears to say, "Oh, here's to my sweet Satan, those whose little path would make me sad, whose power is Satan. He will give those with him 666, there was a little tool shed where he made us suffer, sad Satan." Now, after this accusation came out, the band was obviously offended, stating to all of their fans that they had nothing to worry about and there was no satanic backmasking or imagery in any of their songs. Although strangely enough, guitarist Jimmy Page and the occult go way back. He bought famed Satanist Aleister Crowley's mansion, and the rumors persist to this day that he sold his soul for the devil in exchange for fame. Now, this would not be a backmasking video if we didn't discuss the Beatles. The first sinister message to appear was in the Fade Out to Strawberry Fields Forever, in which John Lennon seems to say, "I buried Paul." This is where the ongoing conspiracy comes from that Paul McCartney is not actually who he says to be. Allegedly, he died back in the 60s and was replaced by a stunt double who looks exactly like him and has been living his life ever since. Although this is all a conspiracy, there might actually be some signs pointing to this being the truth. In 1969, the band was accused of littering subliminal messages in the White Album. When played backwards, Turn Me On Dead Man can be heard 3 separate times in Revolution number 9. They were also accused of backmasking the line, "Paul is dead man, miss him, miss him, miss him, and I'm so tired." Now, a lot of these examples of backmasking and subliminal messages have been pretty sinister, but nothing gets quite as sinister as this. Back in the 1990s, the heavy metal band Judas Priest was brought to trial in the death of 2 young men. It was claimed that back in 1985, 2 young men by the names of Raymond Belknap and James Vance tragically formed a suicide pact after listening to the album Stained Class on a 6-hour drug and alcohol binge. Parents of the victims of this tragedy brought forth a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against the band and their record label, CBS. The basis of the claim was that subliminal messages were backmasked into the recording, thus influencing their actions. Allegedly, their music played backwards said, "Do it, and let's be dead." Now, everyone showed up to court, Judas Priest and the victims' families. Judas Priest seemed extremely apologetic for what had happened to the victims and claimed that there was no backmasking of any sorts in their music. Luckily for them, the band ended up not having to face any charges. But this is still an extremely tragic story. And now to wrap up things on a bit of a lighter note, the very well-known band Soundgarden may have been guilty of some backmasking themselves. When you play the 1988 hit 665 backwards, allegedly you can hear, "Santa, I love you baby, my Christmas king. Santa, you're my king. I love you Santa baby, got what I need." Either Chris Cornell really loved Santa, or he was just poking a little bit of fun at all of this panic of backmasking in music, especially the satanic backmasking. Which in my opinion is why the song is called 665, because it is just one number away from the alleged devil's number. So as you can see, when you are listening to music, you might not actually be listening to what you think you are. Maybe next time when you go to listen to your favorite song, you might want to double check and play it backwards to make sure that it's not telling you something that you weren't aware of. But that is going to be wrapping up this week's Spooky Sunday. Let me know down in the comments, what songs are you aware of that might possibly have this alleged backmasking in it, because there are so many songs. I could only pick out a few that were mostly confirmed, but there are so many out there in the universe floating around that have alleged backmasking in them that have not been confirmed, that say way creepier of messages. But I am doing a Spooky Sunday every single Sunday, and during the rest of the week I have all sorts of makeup goodness happening here on this channel, so if you're not already subscribed and you would like to be, I would love to see you hit that button down below. If you enjoyed learning about subliminal messaging and music, please also do hit that thumbs up button and turn on that notification bell to see when I am posting. Also, before I wrap this up, when I was researching the alleged subliminal messaging for Led Zeppelin actually started playing on the radio, and it gave me the creeps a little bit, but it also kind of made me excited. Like they were listening to me and they knew what I was up to. But I hope that you were having an absolutely amazing and slightly spooky day wherever you are, and thank you so much for watching and joining me today. I hope to see you next time. Bye!